She lifted Anna's dispersal charge, scavenged from the freighter's wreck. With this, Zorath, the cradle's edge. Anna crouched in the shadows of the Veylan spires, their crystalline towers mocking the slums below. Kyle leaned on her, his breath ragged but steady. The shroud's shields are impenetrable, he said, pulling data from a looted wrist pad. But their core is unstable. A chain reaction could destroy the fleet and half the moon, Anna finished. We need a pilot. A roar split the air. A ship streaked overhead, jagged, patched with scrap, trailing smoke like a comet. Luz's voice crackled through Anna's wrist pad. Need a ride? Aboard the Star Vane. The reunion was a collision of grief and fury. Luz tackled Anna, her small frame trembling. You promised no stupid heroes. Anna held her tighter. You stole a warship. Learned from the best. Luz nodded to Kyle. He's with us? Kyle's tail flicked guilt. For what it's worth. Luz tossed him the dispersal charge. Then earn it. Veylan Command. Iron Shroud Flagship. The High Executor watched the rebel fleet gather, a motley swarm of stolen freighters and jury-rigged fighters. Pathetic! Deploy the drones! Wipe them from my sky! Her aide hesitated. The core's instability. If they breach the shields, let them try. Aboard the Star Vane, Anna strapped into the gunner's seat, Luz piloting with reckless precision. Kale rigged the charge, claws trembling. The core's resonance frequency is 9.7 terahertz, he said. We'll have one shot before the shields reset. Luz dodged a plasma volley. How close? Inside the shield. Anna met her sister's eyes. Can you do it? Luz grinned. I've been practicing. Battle of the Iron Shroud. The Star Vane weaved through the drone swarm, hull screeching. Kyle counted down, Anna firing at anything that moved. 10 seconds, he yelled. Luz plunged the ship into a nosedive, skimming the flagship's shield. Alarms blared. Now! Kyle jettisoned the charge. It magnetized to the shield, humming. Nothing. Fail safe. Kyle lunged for the airlock. It needs a manual pulse. Anna grabbed his tail. No! This is how it ends, he said, gills flushed with resolve. Not a ghost. He leapt into the void. Veylan Command. Iron Shroud Core. The charge detonated. The shield flickered. Kyle's body vaporized in the blast wave. But not before his wrist pad transmitted a final file. Deportation Code 74. Erasure. Truth. The shield collapsed. Aboard the Star Vane, go! Anna screamed. Luz fired every thruster. The ship rammed the flagship's hangar, shearing through bulkheads. Anna leapt out, pulse rifle blazing. For Kyle! For Earth! Rebels flooded the corridors, a tsunami of rage and hope. Veylan Command. Bridge. The High Executor faced Anna, her claws crackling with a plasma dagger. You'll die a stain. Anna disarmed her with a kick. And you'll die nothing. She shoved the Executor into the core's overloaded reactor. Epilogue: The Star Vane's hull. Anna and Luz watched Zorath's council surrender on a cracked view screen. Refugee ships descended to Earth, their holds bursting with stolen medicine, seeds, oxygen tanks. Luz pressed Kyle's data chip into Anna's palm. He saved us. Anna gripped it tight. We saved each other. The stars, once cold and distant, now shimmered with possibility. Chapter 8. The air in the rebuilt cradle no longer stung with the bite of fungal filters. Anna stood at the edge of the settlement, staring at the jagged scar where the Veylan spires had once pierced the sky. The towers were gone now, dismantled beam by beam, their iridescent rubble repurposed into schools and clinics. Behind her, the laughter of children, human and Veylan, drifted from an open plaza where a market thrived, stalls overflowing with Earth's first harvested crops and Zorath's crystalline spices. The smell of fresh bread and alien herbs tangled in the breeze. It still felt like a dream. Luz found her there, clutching a steaming mug of champurrado in hands that no longer shook. At 14, she'd grown taller, her scars faded, but never erased. "They're waiting for you," she said, nodding toward the council hall. Anna didn't move. "I'm not a diplomat. Number. You're the woman who stole a warship with a 12-year-old. Luz smirked, but her eyes were shadowed. They both carried the weight of the dead. Kyle's absence, a hollow space between them. Javier's laughter lingering in every silence. The council hall hummed with tension. Veylan elders in scaled robes sat across from human delegates, Earth's battered flag hanging beside Zorath's fractured rings. A young Veylan scribe, her gills flushed with nerves, offered Anna a seat at the head of the table. "We propose joint governance of the oxygen refineries," a Veylan elder began, claws tapping a holographic proposal. "Equal profit shares, conditional on human adherence to—" "Conditional?" Luz's voice cut sharp as she stepped into the room, holopad in hand. She tossed footage onto the central screen. Earth's restored biospheres, Veylan and human engineers, laboring side by side. "You don't get to make demands, not after your cleansing light almost turned our planet to glass." The elder bristled. "You speak of atrocities while your rebels still occupy our eastern territories." "Enough." Anna's fist hit the table. The room froze. "We're not here to tally sins. We're here to choose a future." She leaned forward, her gaze sweeping the room. "Equal shares, no conditions, or we dissolve the council and let the streets decide." The silence stretched, brittle, until the scribe cleared her throat. "A vote, then." Later, Luz walked Anna to the spaceport. The Star Vane sat rusting in a hangar, its hull stripped for parts, but Anna's eyes lingered on a newer ship, a hybrid of human steel and Veylan alloys. "They're calling it the Kyle," Luz said softly. "First of the deep-range scouts, for the exiles who want to find their own worlds." Anna touched the ship's hull. "He'd hate the name." "He'd pretend to." Luz pressed a data chip into her hand. "Tovar sent this. They found more of his files. Turns out Kyle wasn't the only Veylan who fought the Purge." The chip held images of Veylan dissidents Anna had never met, faces erased by their own government, labor camps liberated in secret. "Why send it now?" "So we remember." Luz nodded to the horizon, where Earth's green and blue crescent glowed. "You going back?" "Not yet." Anna closed her fist around the chip. "There's something I need to do first." The memorial was simple. A slab of black stone in the glass wastes, names etched in basic and Veylan script. Javier, Kael, Abuela, Lyra, Nico, hundreds more. Anna knelt, tracing the grooves of her sister's handiwork. Luz had designed it, insisting the monument stand where the cleansing light once aimed its wrath. A figure approached, his scales dulled by age, tail dragging in the dust. Tovar. He placed a jagged xenolith crystal at the base of the stone. "I'd say he'd be proud, but my nephew was always a terrible liar." Anna stood. "Why come now?" "To remind you that not all monsters stay dead." He flicked a claw toward the sky. "The galaxy's vast. The Executor's allies are still out there. Hunger doesn't die with a tyrant." "Then we stay hungry too." She turned to leave. "Martínez," Tovar's voice rasped. "He loved you, in his way." She didn't look back. "I know." Luz waited at the spaceport with a packed duffel and Anna's old pulse rifle. "You sure about this?" Anna slung the rifle over her shoulder. The chip Tovar gave me has coordinates, surviving labor camps, hidden colonies, people who think they're alone. She nodded to the Kale. They deserve to know the war's over. Luce hugged her, fierce and fleeting. Come home alive. The ship's engines whined as Anna breached the atmosphere. Behind her, Zorath shrank to a marble, its wounds healing. Ahead, the stars sprawled infinite, their light a road map. She opened a channel, broadcasting Kale's files on every frequency. This is Anna Martínez of the Stardust Collective. If you're hearing this, you're not forgotten. You're not alone. Somewhere in the dark, an answer flickered.